Hello everyone, welcome to the Elliottwave.com YouTube channel. Today is April the 23rd and the chart of the day for today is Tesla here, 45 minutes time frame. Now we can see based on the chart we are still looking for a bit more downside, but you can see that the low here ended with 3 already in the minor degree, so now we're doing with 4 followed by one more push to finish with 5, and that should actually finish the correction, right? So looking looking only at this 1 hour time frame or 45 minutes, then yes, we might still see for the downside, right? But whether or not this is actually bearish, we'll take a look at the larger time frame. Okay. So if you take a look at the weekly time frame, it's very interesting here. Now I draw a trend line coming from the low in 2020. We are very close to that trend line. So I think it's such a very long-term time frame typically is going to be very strong, meaning you won't easily break slice through below it. So I expect, even though we are calling it low, it's not necessarily bearish, guys. If you look at the weekly, it is near the bottom rather than we're gonna sell off a lot more, right? And then you can take a look at this structure on the weekly, which is also very interesting here. If you take a look at this all-time high to this one, now you can see this is not an impulse, guys, right? It is not. I mean, how can you call it as an impulse here? This wave 5 is very strong. If you're calling this like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that wave 3 is going to be the shortest wave, so it's not possible to call this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is actually corrective. So if you take a look from the all-time high to this low and to this peak, it actually bounced perfectly from the 100%. You can see it, right? So this is the 3 swings down here. 1, 2, 3, where the third swing has no extension and it's bouncing perfectly more or less from the 100%. Okay, so this is corrective. You can see now, of course, we make all-time high in Tesla. This is impulsive, right? So impulsive here, corrective here, then we got this rally, and then so it's kind of, now we are in the middle between this all-time high and this low, and we have a very long-term support over here, right? So what should we really think about here? Let's say, assuming we break below the trend line, I don't think it will, but assuming we do, then most likely that means it's most likely going to break below this one as well, which is the 2023 low, right? Now imagine if it breaks below this low. From the technical point of view, what you're going to be doing then is you're going to start measuring 100% extension from the peak. So this is going to be a big 1, 2, 3 if it breaks below this low, right? So you will try to forecast what will be the next target here, like this. Now it's going to go to negative 13. Impossible, right? Tesla is not going to go to negative unless you believe it's going to go bankrupt. I don't think it will. It's I mean, there's a lot of pros and cons about Tesla, but you know, the company is not like losing money, so it should be okay. And it's one of the pioneers in the electric vehicle with Elon Musk, so I don't think it's going to go to zero, right? And here you got an opportunity, in my opinion, because it's kind of running out of space to the downside, so to speak. So most likely it's not going to break below this previous low. Most likely it's going to hold above this long-term trend line. So even if it, okay, assuming it won't go to new high, but that's besides the story. At the least, you are not buying at the high price here. If you're buying, and then you're going to be, you know, decent. I think if it does expound, you're gonna get decent rally, you know, even if it doesn't make new high. But I can see it easily go back to $200, for example, which is you know, at 30%, not too bad. All right, so therefore, in my opinion, if you only look at the 1 hour, it looks bearish, but it is not bearish. It's actually very close to some sort of support with or without new low. I think, because the thing is, you don't want to pick the exact low. It's not possible, guys. A lot of people want to do something like that, but it is not possible. Nobody can pick the exact low to the dollar and decimals. So since we don't see any strong reaction yet on the upside, we're still extending it lower. That doesn't mean this is a bearish market, right? You look at the weekly, it's not bearish, and we're getting close to finish, then to start a new bearish move. That's my opinion. Well, I will be proven wrong if it breaks below this trend line decisively. If it breaks below here, then I will be proven wrong. But for now, I don't think it will break below here, because again the implication is going to go to negative. I don't think it's going to happen. It can truncate. You might say, well, can it truncate? Yes, it can truncate. If it truncate, it's going to go to 61.8 typically to $60.106. But again, I think we are not, I mean, we have this long-term trend line, and I think that that trend line itself is sufficient, in my opinion, to at least produce some sort of a bounce at minimum. So yeah, so we should be looking for support very soon here. Now if you take a look at this structure here, now if you take a look at this is kind of like a miniature of this. Look at the structure, looks very similar, right? Looks very similar to this. So if you want to see what the 100% is, look at this. I'm gonna remove this one first. This is based on this 1, 2, and then 3. Now you notice here we are already entering the 100% extension area. So this is technically your support here, guys. We are inside the support zone already. Now we might still extend a bit lower. Nobody knows the exact low, but we are already in the support zone. So again, it can happen anytime, right? It can turn anytime, and usually there will be news justifying the move, like earnings report or whatnot. But we should be looking for at least some sort of a bounce very soon. All right, so that's the update for Tesla here, guys. And as always, if you want to get more updates on Tesla or other stocks, indices, ETF, commodities, Forex, feel free to check our service. We have 14 days trial. The link is in the description of the video. So I'll see you all again next time, and have a nice day, everyone.